Also, different precincts around Southern California will be involved. And NYPD is coming your way. That is Jonathon Alvarez, Queens, New York. 4 years NYPD service. Currently serving in the 114th precinct in Astoria, Queens. Queens coming strong. His opponent, Eriverto Montano, Eddie, as everybody calls him. LAPD, Foothill Division. Weighs 160 pounds. His opponent, Alvarez, was 170.
That's not something you see too often in the professional ranks. Somebody being allowed to come in 10 pounds heavier.
Today. All right, listen,
Ladies and gentlemen, our third bout of the evening will feature 3 two-minute rounds of middleweight action. At the sound of the bell, the referee in charge of the action, Mr. Jack Reese. Introducing first the fighter to my left, fighting out of the blue corner and wearing the blue and white trunks. Weighing in at 170 pounds, he has an even record of 2 wins and 2 losses. Representing the NYPD's 114 precinct, Jonathon Rico Suave Alvarez. And introducing the fighter to my right, fighting out of the red corner and wearing the blue and white trunks. He weighed in at 160 pounds and has a winning record with 3 wins and only 1 loss. Representing the LAPD's Foothill Division, Eddie Montano.
Good. Guys, center of the ring. Center of the ring, please. John? All right, I gave you both instructions. The trunks are good. I just want to remind you, listen, obey my commands all the time, protect yourself at all time. Biggest thing, stop when I say stop. But good? Good luck to both of you. Everybody else out, please.
And they get Jack Reese in the ring. Stepping it up here. Eddie Montano, Jonathon Alvarez, ready to go. 3 rounds. And you see tail, Doug.
Yeah, Montano, 2 years older. Alvarez, 1 inch taller, and of course he has a slight reach advantage and a pretty decided weight advantage.
Those graphics are really cool, but a little bit different when you see somebody in the police uniform.
I don't recognize him.
Montano, all blue. Foothill Division, the LAPD. Right hand from Montano.
One thing that's evident, although this is basically technically a match between a light heavyweight and a middleweight, Montano certainly seems to have the speed advantage. Very quick in there.
Seems to have a very athletic style as well, not wasting any time.
He's 3-1 in his amateur career, Eddie Montano. He's got the red gloves.
You could see some of his experience right there, Doug. He actually threw 2 feints. You don't see that a lot from guys with not that much seasoning in amateurs or pros. Pretty quick hands, too.
Jonathon Alvarez, Queens, New York. He's got the white tank. Good right landed by Montano. Alvarez comes back with the right of his own. Left from Alvarez. Right from Montano. Swinging it now, both of these fighters.
Alvarez has got to get his jab going. That's a punch he can land.
Right hand from Montano.
Montano comes forward and he's swinging both arms, but he's not working his way in with his own jab.
Adrenaline right now just rushing.
You can see it. I mean, especially on Montano's face, you see it. And I think Alvarez can do well when he gets Montano's back against the ropes.
An event that was thought of by the LAPD. They came to Golden Boy, said, let's work together on this. And here we are tonight, benefiting Susie G. Komen Foundation. Opening round, scheduled for 3.
Oh yeah, your boy Tattoo's hitting ringside right here with 2 Golden Boy undefeated fighters. August 19th, right here at the Velasco Theater. Check out
Montano was definitely the aggressor in the opening round. Threw more punches, and he landed more punches. We're seeing some nice lefts and overhand right crosses land on Alvarez, although Alvarez did have his moments as well.
Yeah, Montano had pretty impressive hand speed. He had a decent overhand right, and I thought he won round number 1 on the basis of much cleaner punching.
I scored the round for him just on activity. You know, you only have 2 minutes to work with. You know, you got to get started, and he started.
Well, that's the thing about the 2-minute rounds, and we've seen this, Doug, with women's fights. They fight at a quicker pace. 3 minutes, you have to jog a little bit. In a 2-minute round, it is more of a sprint.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Second round. Montano, LAPD in the blue. Alvarez, Queens, NYPD in the white. Right hand landed by the Queens fighter.
I think Alvarez is doing exactly what he needs to do, and I'm curious to see if Montano can have the same work rate in round 2 as he did in the opening round.
Good right landed by Montano.
I thought Montano was breathing kind of heavy at the end of round 1.
Another thing, keeping your pace, staying in there.
And with the adrenaline and actually taking punches, you feel that fatigue a lot quicker than when you're sparring or if you're hitting a heavy bag.
Well, Alvarez now is starting to impose his size. Again, we note he's 10 pounds heavier, and you can see the thickness throughout his body.
Yeah.
When he starts to get closer, he noticeably moves Montano physically.
Yeah, I think Alvarez should kind of draw a line in the center of the ring and not back up. Montano is a come-forward fighter. If you back up, you're giving him the space to land his shots as he's lunging forward. Stand your ground. Maybe you can push him back on his heels. And you can land some of your shots, which I think Alvarez is trying to do right now.
And you see exactly what you're talking about. The heavier fighter, taller fighter, leaning on him, pushing him back. Referee Jack Reese, stop pushing and start punching.
Hey, that's got to be a thrill, especially if you're a boxing fan and you've watched all this world-class boxing on HBO and Showtime, and it's Jack Reese in there, and now he's officiating your fight.
And Steve Kim and Doug Fisher. I mean,
you think they can hear us?
Yeah, you know, I don't think...
They're watching the replay Saturday morning.
Okay.
You know, guys, I don't think fighting in front of us is on their bucket list. I'll be honest.
Me working with you guys is on my bucket list. Good action between Montano and Alvarez through 2.
You flatter us, Duran.
I just want a Max boxing shirt.
Doug.
A lot of action in round 2. Beautiful overhand right. Well timed from Montano. But Alvarez definitely had his moments in round 2. In fact, Steve, I scored round 2 for Alvarez.
I agree. I think this fight comes down to the last 2 minutes. I think they have split the first 2 rounds. It's going to be interesting to see who imposes each other's will in the last round here. Again, 3 rounds at 2 minutes. And, you know, when you have these guys, as we mentioned earlier, they are full-time in law enforcement. They're not professional prize fighters. Conditioning is key. It literally takes hundreds and thousands of hours in the gym to actually build up the stamina to go 4 3-minute rounds.
And that's professionals, where that's what they do. They're not chasing criminals, putting their lives on the risk every single time. Third and final round. Eriverto Montano, Foothill Division, LAPD. He's in all blue. Jonathon Alvarez, Queens, New York, 114th Precinct, NYPD. Such a cool event here at the Belasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles on the LA Fight Club.
These middleweights are putting on a show for fans and everybody watching on the Ring TV live stream.
Oh, good right landed by Montano. Alvarez right there with him.
Yeah, he got the better of that exchange. I like it when Alvarez goes to the body because I think his hands are heavier.
We've gone through a lot of snooze fights. More action in this one than some of the fights we've had recently in the professional ranks.
Right, and these guys aren't fighting for money.
All pride.
The officers definitely have pride. They obviously have courage.
Good scrapping.
I think Montano is better from long range. Alvarez is better in close.
You seem to see the fatigue right now.
Yeah, and again, when you're 10 pounds heavier inside that ring, that's an advantage. I think Alvarez is doing the right thing, just putting everything in the forward gear and just at times smothering Montano and not allowing him to unfurl those arms of his. And really the quickness is dissipated on Montano with the fatigue.
Right. Alvarez didn't land any clean punches when he had muscled him to the ropes near us, but I think he took a lot out of Montano just by putting his body on him.
Been a good scrap. Could be a tough one to judge, and it's only 3 rounds. Makes it even more difficult. Final 10 seconds. Can somebody steal it?
Nice finish.
There you go.
Good job, both guys. Yeah.
I'm clapping. Great job right there. Jonathon Alvarez, Eddie Montano, in our 3rd bout of the night, put on a good fight.
Hey, we might have a split decision here.
Yeah?
I wouldn't be shocked. Montano lands his right hand. That was his money punch throughout the fight. Sometimes he would land sort of a jab hook hybrid from the outside. When Alvarez had Montano backing up, he had his moments as well, especially when they were in close. He was able to sort of assert his heavier weight and greater physical strength.
I thought it was the story of 2 fights. I thought early on the quickness and the sharpness and the hand speed of Montano carried him to an early lead. I thought the second half of the fight, the size and the strength of Alvarez was really the story.
Who did you score round 3 for?
I actually gave it to Alvarez.
Okay.
I thought he won rounds 2 and 3.
And I scored round 3 for Montano because I like those clean right hands. So like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if we have a split decision in this bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, your judges have rendered a split decision. Judge Lumaret scores the bout 29-28 for Alvarez. Judge Pat Russell scores it 29-28 Montano. Raul Calles sees it 29-28 for your winner, representing the NYPD, Jonathon Rico Suave Alvarez.
NYPD's 2-0. Jonathon Alvarez gets the win. Split decision. He improves to 3-2 in his amateur career. But that was a good little action-packed fight for only 3 rounds.
Yeah, they agreed with you, Steve. Like I said, I was not surprised that there was a split decision in this fight. Very close, particularly the last 2 rounds.
Thanks to everybody watching us, getting those tweets from the people back home watching in Queens, New York, supporting the NYPD. Beth Duran along with Doug Fisher and Steve Kim. Of course, Steve Roswell is always watching us in Houston, Texas. Appreciate that.